Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's the Social Chameleon presented by WinTheWarFromWithin.com. I'm Tyson. This is Justin, and welcome to episode 3. We're going to do communication and language.
Yep, it's going to be a pretty interesting episode today.
I think so.
Start it off right now. Let me see here. What's the first one?
Language. Start with language.
Uh-huh.
So you have to change your language. And what do we mean by language?
Language isn't necessarily learning another form of language. Language is about your body, words that you say to yourself. More so, it's the words that you say to yourself, because you can actually impede your own progress by using certain words that have been so common in your life. Words like can't, won't, will not. Those have been either ingrained into us or put into us or developed into us because of our community, because of how we were raised. You know, not so much what we see on TV. And then that's the thing, is like a lot of people blame the television or the music that's out for the reason why a lot of people haven't achieved their dreams or reached a certain level in their life. But the reality is, that's not the first line of defense. The first line of defense is at home. It's as a child is being raised. It's what's raising them. What is keeping them afloat off of the water? What words? What ideologies? What beliefs? But at the end of the day, language is the biggest key. Instead of focusing so much on having your children learn a different language, to get them prepared in this world, you need to teach them their own language, which is the words they use on a daily basis, because that will determine failure or success. You know, you have to understand, you know, using a simple word like can, then adding just one letter to it, can't. How much it just changes you, how much it just changes the course of events. Because you tend to buy into what you sell. And if you're selling the I can't, or my bad, it's going to keep leading you towards further away from your goal. You're no longer on the ship. You're on the dinghy that's tied to the ship that's trailing behind you. At some point, that dinghy is going to snap off, and you're never going to reach your destination because you're going to be lost. You know, I learned this lesson a long time ago from the rec center in Makakilo. There was a guy named Hilton Lau. And he used to be the rec center director. And as a teenager or as a young adult, I never understood how much of an asshole he was. And he's a great guy, and now I understand why he did certain things. He would literally stop basketball practice if somebody said my bad.
He hated that word so bad.
He hated the word can't. It didn't matter if you were in his basketball program, related to him, or in his actual summer fun program as a leader. He would literally stop everything and tell you to go run laps. And he would snap at you and saying, quit saying that damn word. There's no such word as can't. There's no such thing as my bad.
This is a demonstration of
my bad is an acceptance. It's an excuse. It's saying that, you know what, I wasn't giving it my all. My
whatever.
100%. You know, whatever. That means you really didn't give a shit. You didn't care about accomplishing what you set out to do. And I never understood it until I started doing all of this personal development thing. How he was not developing our skills, because you know what? We had a lot of talented players and we didn't win much. Because there are other places that had better talented people. But the individuals that came out of that rec center have a wealth and lifetime of experiences, because he was not training our talents. He was pushing our mindset. And I never understood that until I started thinking about this. You know, he wanted you to make sure that you didn't really know you were from an impoverished neighborhood. Makakilo Rec Center back in the 80s and 90s, Makakilo it's this giant hill on the island of Oahu, on the west end. And every level of Makakilo has a social class. And most of the kids that are in the rec center programs come from the lower part of Makakilo, which was sadly, lower class areas.
Lower middle class. Yeah.
I would say lower class,
Yeah.
middle class is more middle upper kilo, and then as it started to expand more because the views and whatever else, the heights of success, the different social class became up there. But he wanted to make sure the kids that were in his program, the ones that didn't have supposedly a future, didn't have the right family situation or the right school situation or whatever the case may be, to not think about that and to think about, hey, I'm in this moment now, I can get out of it, I can be better than I was yesterday, and I can thrive for tomorrow. Those are the things that he was trying to teach us, but he himself did not know how to convey it correctly, only because he was personal.
Yeah.
He could have sat there and talked to us like how some of these other people talk to people now, as far as the loving, the caring, but
it's okay.
But his point was always direct, because
a lot of emotion.
Because he cared.
Yeah, he did. He cared a lot.
And think how that relates to coaching.
Yes.
Right? You can't find a coach that's going to rub your back. You got to find a coach that's going to smack you in the face, not literally, but hit you with the truth.
Right.
Hit you with the truth because they care.
Right.
Because it's personal to them that your commitment, your success is in direct relation to how they teach you and how they guide you.
Right.
They're not helping you build your ship to sink when you're 50 yards out in the ocean. They want you to complete your journey. But sometimes it takes a little bit of rudeness. It takes a little bit of truth. It takes a little bit of realness. And if you are sensitive to that fact, then you need to really look at yourself hard and say, do I want to change my life?
Yeah.
That is language right there. Those little things. I bet you, if you're sitting at home right now, you could sit back and think about all the times certain people that were older than you, that you looked up to, that said certain things to you,
is a demonstration
that
of Wirecast.
dealt with language and how you talk to yourself. Because what we've been trying to get through to you guys since episode 1 is the control of your life. The primary control lies within you. It's in the palm of your hands. And if you don't grasp that concept, you're going to constantly let somebody else take control of your life. They're going to dictate not only your opportunities, but they're going to dictate your language.
Wirecast.
They're going to make you think that you're inferior. They're going to make you feel that, you know what, I'm not good enough. You're right, I can't accomplish it. That's why we do this kind of thing right now. It's because we're trying to get you guys to think objectively. And language is a big, big issue.
Huge.
It's not only words, but it's also your body tone, because everything relates to each other. Like the hip bone is connected to the tailbone, right? And all that other stuff. Right. It's the same thing. How you speak about yourself and about others directly links to your physiology, which is how your body responds. If you sit there and tell yourself, I'm no good, I'm a loser, I'm a failure, I was born to destitute, I'm supposed to be in this life of poor, I can't change my situation.
Nothing I can do about it. Yeah.
Your body tends to follow that because it has no brain. It doesn't think. Your body goes along with what your brain does, with what you're thinking about, with what you're pushing forward. Your own agenda.
Wirecast.
You have to really take a hold of that and grasp that thought. So you got to practice very hard to change what you say and how you talk to yourself. And it may seem kind of weird and kind of awkward at first, but reflection is tough.
Yeah.
Like I said from episode 1, if you can't look at yourself in the mirror for more than 5 minutes, that's because you don't feel good about yourself. And that's not because everybody else is making you not feel good about yourself. It's because you don't feel good about yourself. It's because you put yourself in that language. When you first wake up in the morning, are you excited? Are you happy? Are you ready to go? Are you trying to say, you know what, I'm going to get everything accomplished today? Or are you like, oh God, another day.
Yeah.
Shit, I got to go to work. Man, my kids are bothering me. Oh, I got so much to do.
Yeah.
It's not
I'm so busy. And
it's not like those things have just happened.
No, they're choices.
You knew the day before you had a lot of things to do.
This is a demonstration
And possibly a lot of those things that you had to do today was because you put it off the last 4 or 5 days.
Yeah. Busy is a
You're
choice.
in control, you know. But what are your thoughts on the language part? You know.
Oh, I mean, like you're saying, language, it controls everything. Your mental state, which bleeds down into your physiology, which then bleeds down into how you act, how creative you are, how you think, how you treat
This
others.
is a demonstration of
It's so
Wirecast.
powerful. If you're in your head telling yourself how shitty you are and how shitty your life is and how shitty people are and how this sucks and that sucks, guess how you're gonna treat the next person you run into? Like shit. Even if you love and care for that person, you're in that state. That's how you're just gonna carry on your day. Just think about, a time when you were like in a great mood and somebody comes out and they're having a shitty day. They just instantly bring you down. Instantly. You just click over to that vibration and boom, you're down in that thing. And then quite the opposite. You can be in a shitty mood and somebody walks in and they're having a joyous day and they're just having a good old time. And then they bring that mood in and boom, you click over to that vibration and then all your worries are gone all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just having a good old time. Like, why am I so happy all of a sudden? And it's like, you were happy and it just made me happy instantly. So powerful. Like I said before, those things we tell ourselves in our head, we would never tell our worst enemies. We would never say half the stuff we tell ourselves and we say to ourselves. We beat ourselves down so much in our head. Everything we just come up with these horrible visions and things. And then a lot of us don't understand, like, listen, this is just in my head. The odds of these things happening is astronomical. Most times those things will never, ever happen anywhere near close to it. But we live that life thinking, well, this is going to be the outcome, so I'm not going to try. Or, well, I'm just going to half-ass it because I know how this is going to come out. And it never does.
Is a demonstration
right?
of Wirecast.
We get so stuck in our head, and then nobody, not a lot of people teach or train or practice, like, getting in yourself and saying, oh, hey, okay, yeah, that's a weird thought, but no, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to have this. This is not true. This is just my mind and my brain. And switching over and saying, okay, let me change my mindset. Let me ignore these thoughts. Let me not get in that vibration. Let me not get attached to those emotions. Let me not use those words, in my head, especially, and then also, not just in your head. Same thing. We talk to people and the way your body language speaks and the things that you can say through your body is way more powerful than anything you could ever say with words. I don't know. I don't know how much more we could stress. Language is so vital, especially English.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much nuance to our language. Saying things a certain way or using a word in a certain way completely changes the meaning. Tone changes the meaning. I mean, think about when you read a text message. How many tones you go through in that or an email.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
What did you just write to me? Oh, hell no. But maybe they thought it was a question, or they meant it in a nice way, and you take it, in a bad way. Language is so powerful, so powerful.
Words are a powerful tool, and the sad part is we weren't taught how to wield that weapon.
No, we don't. We've never.
We weren't taught to ask certain questions, to think a certain way, because a lot of the people,
yourself from thinking away.
Well, there was no class.
No, I don't remember ever.
And it wasn't a common thought because a lot of the times at home or in the school system, it's that teacher's life that's reflecting onto the students.
Yeah.
And they're more focused about sticking to the program rather than...
Or their incentives that they're incentivized by.
Right? Or like with parents at home, with the issues that surround them, they're not thinking about really what's in the best interest of yourself and how you're going to thrive. Not survive, thrive.
Yes.
And it's simple things like, it's not just a single word. Like can't is not really a bad word. It's how you put it into context. So if you sit there and say, I can't do this,
right,
that's negative.
Right.
That is using the tool in the wrong way. But if you say, why can't I?
Yeah. Or I can't not do this.
Why can't I do this? Why? It's not only challenging you, but see how it lifts you up. Like, why can't I? Instead of I can't. It's lifting you up to be like, you know what? You're right. It's self-motivation. Why can't I? I'm good enough for this.
Yeah.
Even like Like, I won't be able to do that versus I will do that.
Yeah.
See the change in
Or
tone?
how can I do this?
Right. It's those little things like that that you have to really look back at yourself and write those things down. What phrases or words are you using on a daily basis that if you look at it objectively after you write it down is really undermining your success or your progress? Because everything throughout your day is connected, and it's always connected through what you say and how you react or how you put out.
Mm-hmm.
And it bounces off its energy, it bounces off other people. They in turn subconsciously and subliminally see your negativity and will react to it.
Yep.
Oh God, here comes Laura. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, Jim's coming around the corner. You know what I mean? Or they can tell
negative Nancy.
Yeah.
Or if somebody comes up to you, coworker, friend, family member, and it's the first time they're running into you that day, and they say, "Hey, hey Tyson, how's your day going?" And the first thing you go, "Well,
oh, let me tell you about my day. I woke up this morning on the right side, which is never good."
But you see how it starts off like that? Yeah. You have to be aware of that, and it takes work. I mean,
yeah, it takes practice.
It's these reflections that you're going to have, the things that we're giving to you guys, exercises that we'll give you guys at some point too. It's not intended for you to change overnight, because if that was the case, frick, we'd all be in this position. We'd all be in a better life. Yeah. But some of us need to go through a harder life or harder obstacles to really sink home what is being said or the lessons that are being taught. So we have to keep that in mind, that anything that we want to do in order to reach progress, it takes work. It takes failure. It takes fear. It takes a general understanding of who you are, what your capabilities are, where you want to go, and what capabilities you need to develop. Because we're all born with a certain set of skills, talent, if you want to call it that way, right? Yeah. And for some of us, we don't develop it enough because we don't recognize it enough, because we're so consumed with the little things. Yeah. It's one thing I said the other night, is that when you're younger and you're running a marathon, it's balls to the wall, you're going to run, no worries about it. Yeah. But as you get older, when you have a life now, you have responsibilities. They call it adulting, right? Right. You've got real problems. Now you start focusing on the footsteps. And in some ways that's good. When you're goal chasing, it's better to focus on one foot in front of the other. But when you're trying to find out about yourself, and you're so self-consumed with the small footstep problems, you're having a hard time realizing, what time the race ends, how far you have to keep going, how much harder you have to push. So there's a yin and yang to everything. A lot of analogies have a dual side to it. Yeah. But what you have to understand is, if you want to change your life, you have to change how you speak to yourself first before you try to speak to somebody else outwardly. Yeah. And that takes work, dedication. You're going to come across a lot of truths about yourself that's going to encounter the fear. It's going to be like, wow, maybe I can't do this. But that's where coaching, reinforcement, and practice comes into play. You don't want somebody to hold your hand. You want somebody to say, look, you can. Focus on this. You can do it. It's not just a phrase. If you have the right person to guide you and to teach you and to show you, it's possible, but it takes work. You can't become a pro player at any sport overnight. Right. It takes focus, dedication, and work. Hard work. Right? Cristiano Ronaldo, all those guys, right? Yeah. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, blah, 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 all these guys. They figured, even LeBron James, they figured out what they wanted to do, who they wanted to become, and they understood at a young age, I have to work my ass off. Sleepless nights, lots of pain, cramping, falling down, whatever else, getting criticized, getting put down, whatever the case may be. They had to walk through that valley of crap and pain to get to the summit of the mountain, where they can see their glory, they can see everything, their accomplishments. And that's not the final step for them, but
No.
it took a massive action, dedication to the purpose to change their life. And it starts with language and how you talk to yourself, your physiology. Literally, just change yourself when you wake up in the daytime, bring your shoulders back, take a deep breath, and walk.
This is a
And feel like it's a
demonstration of
good
Wirecast.
fucking day.
But even that takes practice.
No, it takes
And
practice.
You know what? This is really good exercise about that I heard on the Art of Charm podcast. Brilliant idea. So a good way to practice that is, get a doorway or all the doors in your house or whatever for the matter, and put like a little Post-it note on it. You can either just stick it there, or you can write on it something. And every time you walk through that doorway, and as the habit develops, every doorway, shoulders back, chin up, and you smile. And the more you do that, at least around your house, when you walk into a room, that visual cue of a doorway will automatically bring your chest up and your shoulders back and your chest up and smiling, and you instantly change your state right then and there. But you have to develop that habit, especially if you don't have that type of habit already. If you're introverted or you're shy or whatever, the simple little doorway drill, that is one way to practice and get into that state, of being of posturing and being I don't want to say proud, but positive and kind of confident, not in an arrogant way, but bringing your best self forward and being ready for walking in that room and tackling whatever it is you're going to walk in, whether it's a classroom of 30 kids or a board meeting or a pitch meeting or whatever it is, a job interview. You're walking in there and you're already setting the right tone when you walk in that room. Yeah,
we call it system bait, where you activate your complete system, where, like Tony Robbins, he does priming. It's the same thing. You've got to, just like going to the gym, and a lot of people who go to the gym, whether it's CrossFit or actual to the gym itself, you understand that. You just can't jump in and do the fucking exercise. Mm-hmm. You have to prep and warm up and activate your mentality and your body to be in a conquering position. Mm-hmm. That I can lift this weight. What do you think coaches at any sport level give those motivational speeches? It's to activate that switch in your head that says, yes, we're lions. You see it in movies all the time. Look at Troy. When Achilles is sailing to the beach of Troy itself, and he turns to his men because the ship was way ahead of everybody else, knowing that imminent danger is there, he turns to his men and says, we are lions. And the men was like, even though it's a movie, but they're like, yes,
that's real.
But they were, it activates the body to go from being scared, having anxiety, fear, self-doubt, to saying, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
He's charging. Yeah. That's what you got to do.
This
and
is a demonstration
it takes
of Wirecast.
work, because the ultimate goal of what our coaching does, we're not going to speak for somebody else, but the ultimate goal of it is to change your beliefs. Yep. And in order to change your beliefs, it's a lot of little hurdles and roadblocks that are, think of it like bodyguards. They are protecting the belief. Mm-hmm. It's your language. It's what you see, your perceptions, what you do, as far as your daily habits, what you do every single day from sun up to sundown. Those are all bodyguards telling you, whoa, let me see your ID. Yeah. Oh, no, can't get through, not today. They're protecting the belief system.
Yep.
Because that is your actual line of defense to fight anything you're doing right now. You put your wall up, that's your belief.
Yep.
You walk away when you see somebody, that's your belief. Yeah. How you think about a certain race, a certain issue, schooling, whatnot, that's your beliefs. So you have to find a way to break through those bodyguards to change your belief. And it's these little things that takes work. You're not going to change this overnight. Don't be drinking the Kool-Aid. Because I'm sorry, you have to.
This is tea. This ain't Kool-Aid. We ain't sipping on nothing.
You have to understand literally what we're saying. Yeah. It will not happen overnight. If you want it bad enough, if you need it in your life, then you have to make that internal commitment to say, yes, I have faults, but I need the right guidance to get me from point A to point Z, from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the summit. That's where I need to be. I need to be at a point in my life where I am not afraid of challenges. I am not going to let the anxiety take over me. I will no longer be depressed. I will no longer feel like a loser. I will accept the situations that have happened and I will turn it into something better. I will take the negative, plant it into the ground, and watch a tree grow. Not weeds. But you need work, you need the guidance, you need somebody who will tell you that, who has training in that, and not just theoretical training, not just academia. Because there's a lot of that out there that, sad to say, maintain you as a client because it's business for them. They want to see you because your medical covers it. They want to see you because your pay provides their lifestyle. We, on the other hand, want to get you from point A to point Z and get you fixed so that way you don't have to come and see us again.
I hope I never see, that's what I tell my clients, I hope I never see you again. I want to give you the tools and empower you for self-transformation to go out and have the toolbox, the toolkit, to just reach in and say, I remember the wrench we need to use for this.
Right.
And I don't want to see you again. I want to empower you to have those skills. And that's especially what I like to get across.
No, that's absolutely true. Is we're trying to give you the right toolbox and tool set so that way you can fall back on that. Not saying we're never going to speak to you guys again. We're here for that extra support if it comes to that point. But we're pretty confident that with the hard work and the commitment that you put in, and with the understanding that it takes 18 to 24 months to change a belief.
It's called self-transformation.
Right.
You've got to, I mean, look at a caterpillar. It takes time to get to the next level.
That's what we're here for. That's what you have to go find. You may not want to go with us. That's fine. That's not our agenda to push that. But we're trying to hammer home that in order for you to figure out where you want to go, in order for you to change, you have to figure out what the fuck you want to change.
Yeah.
A lot of people sit there, and I reference this all the time because this is the biggest thing that people do all the time. They sit there New Year's Eve, 3 weeks before, or actually on New Year's Eve saying, I'm going to make a change. So listen to the Michael Jackson song, I'm going to make a change for the rest of my life.
I get this huge list.
Man in the mirror type of thing. But the problem is they don't really identify and clarify what it is they want to change. If you don't know what it is you want to change, how do you expect to get to where you want to be?
Right.
That is what we are talking about.
A lot of times when they want to change, it's superficial. Oh, I want more money. I want a fancy car. I need that Gucci purse.
It's because they don't have it and be honest, most people don't have this understanding because like what I said earlier was that they're not taught to look inward. They're taught to follow society's rules, stay within a parameter, and listen to authority.
Right. Walk that path.
And that authority is not just police, not just teachers, it's your parents, it's your uncles, your aunties, the people that surround you as you're a child that are laying these parameters on you subconsciously that you don't realize is what's limiting you, and then you add on it.
Right.
And then you build upon it. And that is where a coach comes into play to say, hey, look, you have to look at yourself. You have to figure out the deep truth about who you really are, what my faults really are, because we all run from that. Yeah. We all tend to not look at the negative parts of our life. We tend to feel that, no, we don't need people to know about that because it's shameful.
Well, it's hard work, too, to ask yourself these questions and answer these questions. You're going to be like, nah, fuck that. I'm not thinking about this. There's something on Netflix I want to watch. I'll come back to this later.
Right, but in order for you to get to where you want to go, it's not going to be all candy, sunshine, and rainbows. Yeah. It's not. You have to want to find an understanding. We heard about this in Buddhism, in any other major religion. You have, in order to transcend or become the butterfly, you have to know what it takes to become the butterfly, what it takes to transcend, what it takes. Meditation, looking inward.
This is a demonstration.
And understand where you're at now. I'm the caterpillar now.
And before you even get to that point, it's like what he just said. Before you even get to that point of trying to be the butterfly and trying to meditate and all these other things, you have to know who you are. You can't fix a car if you don't know what the fuck is wrong with it.
Mhm.
That's why you got to take it in and get it diagnosed. It's the same thing. Your belief system is made up of so many parts and processes that until you clearly identify where the problem area
This
is
is a demonstration of
you're never going to
Wirecast.
get to where you need to because you'll be fixing the wrong things, like how he said, superficial.
You can't make a change if you don't know what needs to be changed.
Right.
And if you can't answer those questions within yourself, nobody can help you.
Right.
I don't know how many times I've talked to people and it's like, well, I don't know. Well, I mean, it'd be nice if I did this. You got to get down to it.
Exactly. You have to dig deep.
And it sucks balls.
It's treasure
But it's
hunting.
worth it. When you get past that initial
This is a
shit part
demonstration of
and you
Wirecast.
start to feel the transformation and see the transformation and you really get into believing it, that it gets so easy to the next obstacle. No worries. I know what this is like and this is gonna be, and I know I can get through this.
Right. So yeah, it's a process.
It is,
And that's
absolutely.
why, if you follow basketball, like the Philadelphia 76ers, their biggest motto is trust the process. Because you have to go through some level of pain to build
This is a
something
demonstration
foundational,
of
not
Wirecast.
superficial. Just like with the Miami Marlins. Derek Jeter sold off all of his most valuable assets, which pissed off the community.
Yeah.
And he told them, trust the process.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to build a short-term thing. I didn't come here for that. We're building long-term sustainability. And at some point through the process, you're going to have to go through pain. If you don't clearly identify what is wrong with you or who you really are,
This
the things
is a
that you have
demonstration of
fixed
Wirecast.
are for nothing. And you're going to
Yeah.
sit there in pain, realizing, shit, I just wasted X amount of years or time for what?
Because you didn't dig deep enough.
Because you didn't want to see the truth. Because you
didn't
were
want to do the
flat
work.
out afraid of what was out there. And you know what? There's a thing I was reading in my book earlier. Let me see here. I'm going to pull this up right now. It's about fear. Now, I don't know if many of you know the acronym for fear. But basically, fear
This
is
a demonstration
false
of
evidence
Wirecast.
appearing real.
Yep.
It's your language. It's
Yep.
how you talk to yourself. If you're a person that suffers from anxiety or depression, it's because not only the outward things such as music or movies or whatever that's affecting you, but that trigger is what unleashes the big switch in you, where you start really adding onto the sandwich.
Right.
Those are the bread that holds up the crap. And you're over here putting the
This
mayonnaise
is a
on, putting the
demonstration of
meat, the lettuce,
Wirecast.
because you're sitting there not talking to yourself correctly, using the words in the wrong order,
Right.
and not understanding how powerful it is to say the right words at the right time. Now, some people go, well, that's just motivational fluff. Depending what you're saying to yourself.
But it's not. I mean, just do it to yourself. Get in your head about some positive or negative shit. Watch how quick you switch.
But that only works, though. It's only motivational fluff if you
Yeah.
don't know who you are.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
For those that sit there and say, well, that's just garbage, I hear it from
This
everybody else,
is a
it's because you don't know
demonstration
who
of
you
Wirecast.
are.
Right. Right. Exactly.
And if you took the time to understand that, and I don't mean just sitting there going, fuck, I'm an asshole. It's, why am I an asshole?
Yeah.
And objectively look at
Yeah.
everything and go, wait, what have I really done wrong? Name all the bad relationships that you have been in. And I'm not talking personal as far as just your girlfriends or your boyfriends. I'm talking every relationship from friends to family members that have went wrong. Write it all down and sit there and objectively take yourself out of it and think of yourself as a third person or a therapist and say, okay, objectively, what went wrong in these
This is a
relationships?
demonstration
Because
of
I will tell you this
Wirecast.
right now, when you objectively look at it, you're going to either figure out that it wasn't your fault, or you're going to find a lot of hard truths saying, wow, and then you dig even deeper.
Yeah.
Is my attitude like that on a daily basis?
Where do these beliefs come from? Why do I believe
Right.
these things?
And relationships doesn't only deal with people.
Yeah.
Relationships deals with opportunities.
Yeah.
Why haven't I been promoted?
Yeah.
Why has this person who just came in with a lower level degree,
Or less experience or whatever.
less
it be.
experience, bumped ahead of me?
Yeah.
Now, in
This
your
is a
mind, well, I did
demonstration
everything
of
correct. I showed up
Wirecast.
on time. I worked extra hours. I smiled a lot.
Mhm.
Go find out. Figure it out. Because I'll tell you this right now. There's something that you're doing. Maybe you're being fake.
Yeah.
Maybe you were gossiping and not knowing, and people found out.
Half-assing your work, thinking you're working hard.
That's another one. Not doing your work correctly. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
you're thinking you're putting out max production to your boss. You provided no value.
I mean, I'll give you an example about that. I mean, just kind of popped my head. When I used to work in the Army and stuff,
This is a
I would work.
demonstration of Wirecast.
I would actually do my work I needed to get done maybe 2, 3, max 4 hours a day, and I was there for 8, 10 hours. And I would outproduce everybody. I would spend the whole beginning of the day up through lunch fucking off because I knew I could. The work was so minuscule, and I could bang it out so quick. And I looked like this hero. And in my head, I'm like, you guys aren't. What? I'm fucking off, and I get all this stuff done. What the hell are you guys doing? You guys are pretending to work. I see you guys are all busy. I'm so busy. I have all these things. You're not even doing anything.
Sorry, guys. Hold on 1 second. Oh, there we go. Instagram's back on.
You know, but that's how most people go up through their workday. They're barely doing the minimum, and to them, I'm working so hard. I'm here for 16 hours. But what did you do for 16 fucking hours? And most times, most people are just fucking off doing busy work. And you're wondering why. Well, I'm here. I'm the last one here, and I don't know why I'm not getting promoted. What kind of quality work are you putting out? What are you doing to maybe go above and beyond, and or take on extra responsibilities and things that are going to get you promoted, things that are going to get you noticed. Not just sitting there complaining and stuff. Like I said, I used to do, in my mind, the bare minimum, but I was excelling, and I'm like, it was so easy to stick around and to get more responsibility and assignments because it seemed like I was doing all this work, and like I said, most people, they're not really doing anything at all. It's so frivolous.
Well, and that's the thing about talent and developing it into a skill. Every day you control your value, whether it's at work or at home or in your own business or whatnot. And we tend to just get narrowly focused on one aspect when we're not looking at the total picture. And when you're in a job, it's not about competing with the next person. It's about being consistent with yourself.
This is a demonstration of
because you can't control the competition. You can't control the level of work that they're doing. And sometimes you don't know exactly what they're doing throughout the whole day.
Right.
But you can control what you're doing throughout the whole day. And just like his example, if you've gotten passed over or, somebody else has been promoted or whatnot, or somebody else is having the better shift, instead of getting upset about it, if you really can't figure it out after you have objectively looked at it and you really believe it's not your fault, it's not that hard to go into your management's office and sit there and ask them a truthful question. Okay, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
And what do I need to do to improve? Now, think about that. By asking those questions, you've just improved your value because the management now sees you as somebody who wants to improve the process, the overall process of the facility or the business, because you're in there being absolutely honest, saying, look, I value this company, I value being here, and I want to know what I need to do specifically to be in a better position. That way you have more faith in me. Or, did I do anything wrong? And if I didn't, then please let me understand. That way you can determine, okay, is it me or them? And if it is them, is this a company I want to work for? If this is how the process is going to affect my value and my happiness and my sanity. Those are the little things you have to do. You have to be able to speak up and talk about it, not convince yourself out of it. Because we have a bad habit as part of language. We have a bad habit of talking ourselves down. The right thing to do.
Yeah. Another thing I like to add to that. Let's say you're doing your job within the narrow confines of your said tasks, and you're doing that well, and you're not getting promoted. How about this? Go up to your manager or whoever, and ask them. I'd like to grow and like to move up and like to get promoted. I'd like to take on more leadership. Can I have an extra project? Can I get on something else outside of my scope? Because I want to grow and I want to become a leader here. Or I want to, be promoted. Ask for that extra work. Ask for that extra opportunity. Ask for that extra leadership role. Ask for a chance to learn. You'd be surprised the reaction you're going to get. Because most of your coworkers aren't doing that, and they're not asking for it. And then your manager, your boss, can sit there and say, "You want extra work? That sounds great. You want to learn? You want to lead? Sounds great." Because I guarantee you, they got some stuff they want to get off their plate. And maybe they see it as, "Yeah, go take my work I don't want to do," or they can see it as, this guy wants to learn and grow, and I'm going to be a mentor to them. But no matter what it is, take that work, own it. Take it as an opportunity to grow and get better and show your value and worth and learn and become a better person and a better, professional. And you're going to eventually get promoted, or you're going to get headhunted or something like that. Those are the types of things you need to do if you're getting passed over or things like that. Go ask for the extra work. Ask for a leadership role. Ask to be trained and stuff on maybe extra time or whatever it is. If you're really looking for that kind of stuff.
People can't know your value, or they won't know your value if you don't put your value out.
Yeah, you're not presenting.
Sometimes value is just asking certain questions or putting yourself under the microscope.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be ahead of the class, but you're afraid to sit at the front of the class.
Mm-hmm.
You got to change that mindset, which we talked about in episode 1. It all starts from up here, your beliefs and everything else. Everything is integrated with each other, and you have to understand all of that. It's using the right words, the right language. It's all leading into communicating correctly, because once you figure out who you really are as a person, now we can start arming you with the tools to get you to a point where your level of communication at any point in your life is going to be effective and efficient.
Mm-hmm.
It's regardless of what the conversation is or how the conversation goes. The second you know about yourself and you work to improve yourself, you're going to immediately find value out of every single interaction, every single communication. And you, in turn, if you train correctly, you put in the effort, you put in the hard work, you in turn are going to provide valuable communication and build a valuable relationship with somebody else, because we talked about relationships last episode. But everything is basically your language, what is spoken and what is heard, and how you interpret and how you hold and how you really lock into something. That's your belief, is when you lock into something and it sits there. It's the crown jewels. It's the treasure that's buried deep within you. And we have to crack that fucker open.
To challenge our beliefs.
To say, you know what? This really isn't a diamond.
Yeah. Do I still believe this? Is this still serving me?
Right.
You've got to think about these things and challenge those.
It's the simple balance, right? Yeah. The scale, right? The veritas and aquitas, right? The truth and knowledge thing. Right now, your scale sits like this. In fact, it just sits like this as a cup. It's not challenged.
Yeah.
And the second you challenge your beliefs, you will sit there within seconds. When you get to that point in your life, no matter what you're facing, you'll sit there and you'll tell yourself, is this really worth the fear? Is this really worth my time?
Yeah.
Should I put more thought into this? You're going to objectively look at things without knowing you're objectively looking at things. And that's what, like I said, going back to coaching, what all that stuff does is makes you have a better sense of things, reasoned thinking on how to correctly judge a situation and move forward on that path that you have designed for yourself, where it's not going to completely impede your progress. That's the confidence that we're trying to instill in people, that look, nothing's going to stop me.
No.
Nothing is going to stop me. Yes, there's going to be little patches here and there, but it's not going to stop me, because why? I can. Tony Robbins talks about can I, right? A lot of people have adopted that because it's honest to God truth. It's the right question that tests your balance. Can I do it? Yes, I can. Why can't I?
Right.
Because I will.
Right.
It's all that pushing, keep going. See, that's the coach. What a coach does is he goes to you and says, keep going. No, don't turn around.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Don't
Keep
stop.
going.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why are you stopping? And you're going to get annoyed with that. You're going to get upset. You might want to cry, because it's like, oh, I can't. But you have to keep pushing down your barriers, and it takes hard work. But getting back to the communication aspect, why is communicating properly so important? Why do you think it's so important in building a relationship or in maintaining a relationship? Why do you think it's so important to do that? To properly say the right words, or listen correctly.
Well, I mean, when you have the inability to communicate properly, you can't convey your ideas,
Mm-hmm.
your thoughts, your struggles, your whatever's going on.
Of
You know,
Wirecast.
when you have, when you don't have a good command of the language or a wrangle on your thoughts, if you're scatterbrained and all these different things, you can't get your ideas out. You can't get your point across. That's one thing. The second thing, with communicating people, if you're, like we're saying earlier with language, if you're in that negative tone and negative vibration and negative things, you're not going to be communicating, properly. And also, a big thing what I get a lot is people assume you know what they're talking about, or you get it, or you understand. Like, the one thing I hate the most, I hear all the time is, oh, it's common sense. There's no such fucking thing as common sense. Because to me, growing up in Hawaii, it's common sense how you operate at the beach. But I have no fucking clue how to operate in a cornfield. The kid that grew up in the cornfield, you can't drive a John Deere. That's common sense. No such thing. Nothing is common to everybody. We don't have any fucking clue about, anything. Everybody's got their own experiences and their own things, where they've come from and things they've done. So you can't assume people just understand and just get it. So that's why you need to be able to, to have a clear thought and communicate your message properly, so that when you're talking with somebody, you can look at them and you can hear and see what they're saying, what you're saying, and then you can hear and see if they're listening, if they're getting it, have they tuned out, have you lost them? These things are so vitally important, with getting your message out, getting your point across, trying to if something's wrong or you have an idea, all these things you need to learn how to communicate well, so you can get things done. You can get things in motion.
Right. I mean, it really comes down to what your values are. It's like what I posted earlier today, and I think this was such a fabulous quote when I came across it. This is from Wayne Dyer, and this was just blew me off of my seat. But it says, pressure doesn't create negative behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Think of yourself as an orange. If an orange is squeezed, if all this pressure is being applied from the outside, what happens? Juice comes out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing that comes out when the pressure is applied is what's already inside the orange. So think about that. That relates to communication. If you are a shitty person, you treat people like crap, you treat yourself like crap, you're not going to have very good relationships. You're going to wonder why so many relationships, personal relationships, have failed, or friend relationships, people don't call you anymore or don't come around. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of friendships where you don't have to speak to each other every day. But if you know that and that's solid for you, then this doesn't have anything to do with you.
Well, how many times have one of your good friends, if you haven't seen in 5 years, and then you see them, and it's like you saw them yesterday. You just pick up where you left off.
Because that's the nature. That means that relationship was valued. When you built that bridge, it wasn't built on what's those army things, the floating things, the pontoons?
Yeah. Right.
It wasn't built on pontoons, which means it wasn't, you weren't intending to break it down at some point. It was sturdy, it was firm, it was meant to be long term.
It wasn't for your benefit or something you're trying to get out of it.
Which knows me about business networking, because people got all these valuable ideas. And I understand how the world operates. Now, people are afraid of things being stolen or whatnot. But if you go to a networking event that you were invited to, or that's a select group,
you felt like attending,
and the whole purpose of it is to network and share ideas to get all of you guys on a better plane in your life, a better level of your life, leveling up, right? But if you go there afraid to share ideas, how do you expect ideas to grow? How do you expect your business to grow? Because to be honest, the root of your tree, which is your business, the roots itself, which is made of many different roots, it's not just your product, it's not just your idea. the base of your tree and how sturdy it is and how long it stays in that one spot of growth is dependent upon how well you fucking network.
Yeah.
And if you don't network correctly, if you don't know how to communicate properly, which means you go into the relationship actually trying to build a relationship,
This
not
is a
I'm going to
demonstration
extract
of
everything I need out of
Wirecast.
you
Yeah.
to get what I want, but
Right.
give very little back to
Right.
you when you need it the most.
Mhm.
Bullshit.
No.
You want to build a knowledge farm, a thinking tank, whatever you want to call it, you have to be 100% on faith and committed that, look, I want to build this relationship long term because the more comfortable somebody is with you, the better the idea grows because there's no tension. It's no, you can only hold a fist so
Yeah,
long.
you're
before it
waiting.
loses
Like, what do you want from
effectiveness.
me? What are you waiting for?
Right.
Yeah.
You
This
want to
is
be
a
able to make sure that it's at
demonstration
a
of
point where
Wirecast.
you guys are like family. And it's a hard thing to adopt because we want to hold close to our $1 million idea, but you have to understand
There's a million of them.
if you don't network correctly in this day and age, you are not innovating and you don't really care about your business because it is a lot harder to be an entrepreneur in this day and age because of social media, because of visibility, okay, because of marketing, because of how all those things are so accessible
This
now.
is a
But
demonstration
with the communication
of
aspect,
Wirecast.
if you're not willing to build correct foundations, then you're just building temporary walkways that will be washed away when you need it the most to walk back because you're going to encounter failures. You're going to encounter a lot of obstacles. And it takes more than just correct thinking, the correct beliefs to get you through. It takes building relationships. And I'm not telling you to go out and make 10,000 relationships.
In fact, to
This is a
prove that point,
demonstration
you want it
of
with relationship. You want to go
Wirecast.
narrow and deep.
Right, that's what I'm trying to get
Very
at. Is that
few, and you want to get deep down and build that relationship very deep. And then when you call that person, there's no problem responding to you because they know this isn't superficial. You're not just trying to get something out of me. I don't know how many times I get pitched on LinkedIn and on social media every day. People want from me. I don't know you. I don't give a fuck about you. And all you want from me is something. You're not offering me nothing. You're not providing me nothing. You don't even give a shit what I do. You just
This
want
is a
from me.
demonstration
well, that's
of
why it's like,
Wirecast.
it's not about the number of friends that you have. It's about the quality of friends that you maintain, the quality of relationships. So I could have 10,000 people on my Instagram network,
Yeah.
but I only need 1,000 quality ones that will outproduce the
Yeah.
other 9,000.
Yeah, if you guys on that note, if you guys have never heard of Kevin Kelly,
This
if you go
is a
to
demonstration of
kk.org, read his
Wirecast.
letter, 1,000 True Fans. Unbelievable, great to the point. That's how you can one of the great way to build a network. Creating raving fans, creating that narrow, deep network. Vital.
Yeah,
That will
it's gonna take-
outperform anything.
It's going to take you time to understand those that value and share your ideas. And you cannot get discouraged by seeing other people's accounts that have over 10,000, 20,000. I mean, yes, if it's just a traffic business, I get it.
This
You need
is a
those amount of followers
demonstration
because
of
you're modeling
Wirecast.
whatever else. But if you're trying to build a business, of course you want to drive traffic to your business, but you need a good support system. You need a bunch of people that are in the grind with you, willing to share ideas, willing to help you grow your ideas, not pissed off when you come to them with the question, and vice versa. You can't get mad at them for coming at you with the question. If in this day and age, it really is about culture and community. If you're not willing to develop a culture and community
This is a
through
demonstration
communication,
of Wirecast.
then you should not be in business because you are not prepared to grow your business. You are not. It's like having a child. You just can't have a child to have a child because you want a child. You have to have a child because you really, want to be a part of that child's life and cultivate it and see it grow, build a relationship. So if I get 10 valuable friends that can help me grow a business, exponentially, I'm fine with those 10 friends. And even like in personal relationships,
This
if
is a
you are
demonstration
afraid
of
in the beginning part of the
Wirecast.
relationship, if you are afraid to be who you are, how do you expect that other person to love you completely? That's why there's so much misunderstanding or miscommunication in a relationship because as they progress through the months, through the years, or whatnot, they get most of the arguments is because you don't know me.
Right.
You don't understand me. And I get it. At the beginning of the relationship, you have to put on this facade and you have to put on this perception because you want to hammer it home that you are the one, or she is the one, or he is the one, whatever the case may be. But that's the new age and things. The old school way of thinking is come as you are, be original. I mean, it doesn't have to. You still want to do the dating and whatnot, do all that stuff, but you have to build that communication and those little things. Like I was telling people for Valentine's Day. In fact, I have the thing here, the other quote that I have. It's right here. It's not about the amount of money you spend to show your love once a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the quality and the time you spend with each other every day. Showing love is a daily opportunity, not a once in a year thing.
Yeah.
We tend to forget about that just because you're in a relationship and you've been with that person for so long, and this relates to business, that you tend to not do the little things that counts to maintain the relationship. So like with your significant other, over a course of many years, you tend to not say nice things to each other. You tend to not hold hands anymore. You tend to not go out on dates or whatnot.
Right.
Same thing with business relationships and friends. You tend to not give a phone call just because, hey, how's it going? How's your life? Or shoot an email if you're not in that, if you guys are in separate time zone or whatnot. Hey, I just dropping by.
Yeah.
Just wanted to see how you're doing. Right? Call up an old friend that you haven't seen in a while. Hey, what you doing today? You want to get a sandwich, get a coffee?
Right.
Those little things. And even with social media, you have no excuse right now to not be in contact with friends and family that you care about.
Mm-hmm.
And all it takes is just a simple, hey, how's it going? Just checking in to see how you're doing. Simple.
Just thinking about
it takes a minute of your time. But we take those things for granted because it's there in our life. We say, hey, we're locking our shelf. We don't got to worry about it. It's always there. But just like locking away a tool or a can or whatnot and not realizing it's there for such a long time, it's going to build rust.
Right.
It's not going to work properly.
Stale, and rot, whatever. Yeah.
Right. It's like WD-40. It's not going to spray correctly because you're like, what the hell's wrong with this thing? I haven't touched it in a year. Yeah. That's why you have to maintain all those things, right? Like a vehicle. You don't touch it for a year, all of a sudden your engine don't start. You're like, shit, I just bought this car. I've only driven it once. Exactly. You only driven it once. You haven't maintained it. Even though you didn't go anywhere, you could have turned the engine on.
Right.
You could have revved it a little bit.
Yeah.
Those little things, right?
Good morning. How are you?
Exactly. It's simple little things that we don't practice.
Yeah. And the reciprocation, the other person is like, oh man, I haven't heard from them in so long. It's nice for them to reach out.
Yeah.
That is so heartfelt. And yes,
their day,
I don't know how many times I've got several times I've gotten messages from people. And I posted or said something, and it's like, you know what? I really needed that today. Thank you so much. I don't know why you reached out or whatever, but I really, really could use that today. And
it does.
And I didn't do. It didn't take nothing from me, but that gift that gave them that second win, or gave them that whatever that they needed that day.
You never know what that person is going through at that point in time, and how just a little email or a voice message or a text message just to say, hey, just thinking about you.
Yeah. Hey.
How simple is that? How
so
it
easy.
Uplifts their day.
This is a
because they could be
Wirecast.
either, their life could be fine and not realizing things, and it could just touch them like, wow, man, I haven't heard from him in a long time. Or if they're having a bad day, thinking, as their mind starts to just topple down that cliff of despair, all of a sudden they get that email or that text message, and it's like, wow. Makes me feel better because somebody's caring. Yeah. So that is, like the next thing is like, what can you do to improve communication? Right there, that's the first thing you should do is if you have an old friend, old colleague, people that you care about, old family member or whatnot, if they have social media, send them a nice little wave, hi, how are you doing? If they have email, shoot them an email. Personally, I would call just to say, hey, even if they don't pick up, it doesn't matter. And if they picked up and said, hey, what's going on? I'm kind of busy. No, just checking up on you. You know what? You call me later.
Yeah.
Just put that inception, that thought into their life, that good thing. If you want to do a good deed every day, do that. Reach out to somebody and communicate. Reach out to somebody and communicate.
You know what? Write a letter.
That works too.
Those are amazing. How many times you go to a mailbox and you get a letter in there? That is something that just doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
But write one of your old friends or family members a letter and watch their reaction. And you know what you're not going to notice is the things that they do to and for others.
Yeah.
Just because you did one little thing. Real quick, hold on, guys. Instagram's about to cut us off. Let me, Instagram people, jump back in. I'm going to restart this. Save. Video saved.
Yeah, this is a technical part.
Instagram cuts me off after about an hour. I don't know. Maybe when we get cooler, they'll stop. All right, Instagram, welcome back. If you're just jumping in on this live stream, later on you can go back and watch the first part. They chunk them off into hours, and maybe when we get cooler, we'll stop that. But all right, we'll jump back in here.
So yeah, so with the communication part, what we would tell you to do is, like I said, send out an email, a letter, a phone call, a text
Shoot a message. Too easy
every day. Just send out something of a little value to somebody else, and it can be less than a few words or just a simple wave hi, just to know that you're thinking about them, just enough to spark curiosity for them to call you. When you're talking to people and you're out networking, don't be afraid to network. Don't be afraid to share. Don't be afraid of the fear of, God, they're going to steal my idea. If you're at one of those events where you're supposed to network, by golly, get out there and network.
Give it all.
Give it your
Don't hold
all.
back.
Show your enthusiasm, because people can sense when you're holding back, when you're not fully being yourself, when you've got a different intention because of the certain words that you're saying or you're using, which leads back to the language part. So when you're networking, don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to share. Don't be afraid to be as absolutely honest. Because the whole point of networking, too, is not only sharing great ideas, but being absolutely about other people's ideas so that they can improve. If they got an idea where you find some flaws in it, how you say it, okay, will affect how they take it.
Yeah, this is
so,
a demonstration of Wirecast.
Sit back objectively, think thoughtfully, and tell them in a correct and direct manner that, you know what, I have seen some flaws in this, if you don't mind. And I want to help you improve your business idea, if you don't mind.
Or you know what? I just had a thought. Maybe you ever think about this, or you ever think about it like that, or
see how you lead yourself into a positive conversation. But if you come out there and say, you know, that idea is dumb, this is not going to work, then you should not be at a networking event. You should be by yourself at home, twiddling your thumbs,
rethinking what you're doing,
and wondering why your business is fucking failing right now,
or your career, or whatever,
or your career or whatnot. So those are two of the things you should do with communication in your personal life, with your relationship. I know it's Valentine's Day, but it doesn't take one day of the year to celebrate love. Practice it every single day. And if you find you and your significant other are bumping heads initially, it's because it's foreign to your significant other, because you haven't done it in a long, long time. So don't give up. Keep trying. Keep, holding hands just out of the blue with your wife as you're walking. Just grab her hand and hold her hand. Watch the look she gives you. I mean, hell, you guys want to make
something wrong?
You guys might make another kid that. She'd be like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah. Don't let Hallmark tell you when to celebrate things with other people.
Right. It's great. I mean, we do need sometimes a reminder on a calendar of what love is and when to give love, or when the birthdays are and this and that. But that's just a reminder. You have to take the self-awareness part to say, hey, if I value this person and I don't want to lose this person out of my life. Because not every relationship, personal-wise, is going to be great. There's going to be rough patches. There's going to be arguments, whatnot. But if your great times outnumber those little arguments, and you know those arguments are just little and stupid, then take the time to repair those little nicks and damages on the bridge to make sure that bridge is sturdy. You want to reinforce the bridge as the bridge gets older. You have to understand that at some point that bridge needs to be widened, it needs to be shortened, it doesn't matter. Either way, it has to be reaffirmed and made solid again. So do that with your personal relationships, with your friends. Like we said, it goes back to the original thing. Just reach out and talk to them. And if you don't want to talk to them, then they are not a friend in your life, then they are not one of those relationships that you need to keep in contact with. And quit fooling yourself and saying, well, we've got history. History don't mean anything, because if we've learned anything from history, it's going to repeat itself.
And it's okay to outgrow people, and outgrow your friends and colleagues. It's okay. Just realize that. These people no longer serve me, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's a good thing. And on what your point about I want to kind of add to your thing. You know what I like to do is when I'm out somewhere, cruising the internet or whatever it be, and I see something that reminds me of somebody, I'll grab it for them and I'll buy that for them and I'll send it to them, or I'll snap a picture and be like, hey, look at this, reminding me of you. But the simple little acts like that are so valuable. You come home on a Tuesday afternoon with some little thing for your wife or girlfriend or your child or whatever, or one of your friends. That is so much more meaningful than Hallmark telling you this needs to be done on this day.
Yep. So that's why it's vitally important to take all these things and understand how to provide value, how to maintain, how to build. And this is why coaching is so valuable. Now, a lot of people have asked me, what is a shaper? How are you guys different from coaching? Okay, to me, a coach, which is either a sales coach or a motivational coach, is there to deliver inspirational messages while giving you a blueprint on how to maximize your sales, or that it's encouraging, you can do it, they're sympathizing with you. We are transformational shapers. We are our own category, and basically what a shaper is, and this is from
a demonstration of Wirecast.
Great book. He defines a shaper, and this is what fits our idea, our vision, and whatnot. He says, I use the word to mean someone who comes up with unique and valuable visions and builds them out beautifully, typically over the doubts of others. Shapers get both the big picture and the details right. To me, it seems that shaper equals visionary plus practical thinker plus determined.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
That's us. We have the scope and the ability to see where you're headed by figuring out who you are and having you walk through that valley, and not us just giving you a piece of paper and saying, look, this is who you are. No, we don't hold your hand on that. You're going to have to face the fear, the demons, all those things, the truths, if you want to build your vision. And then we have the insight and the ability to detail your vision and put it together to make sure that you're on track and accomplishing what you need to accomplish. That is what makes us different from a personal coach. A personal development coach treats you as a client, which means...
I don't know about a client, maybe just a customer.
Well, I mean, yeah, we'll use the customer term. They treat you as a customer because you're a number, you're in, you're out, you're a transaction. Whether you succeed or not, they're hoping in the back of their minds that you don't succeed, because you then have to buy further into their package. Well, if you go to level 2 of our package, we can get you to level 2 of your life.
So, oh, this is the problem. You didn't get the full package. You got gold. You needed platinum to do that.
Oh. And that's not what we do. Our intent every single day is to provide value. You, as a client, as we take it on as an investment into you, like a family member or whatnot, you as a client to us, our goal is to make sure that we give you everything we've got, our names on our shirt, to you to carry forward into battle, into that war. You're holding that flag, which is a direct representation of us. But our goal is not to see you again in the program. And if you relapse, that's because we didn't do our job.
And it's okay. You know, we'll try again and we'll get this shit right.
We will. Hey, we're not perfect. But if you are looking to build your vision out, forget all the fluff. Forget all the inspirational crap. Forget all of the sales tactics and tools that I could implement right now to get you to jump on when our program is put out there and developed. I'm not going to do that. The truth of the matter is, the program that we're designing, we're going to make sure that you understand how hard it is. We're going to make sure that you understand your commitment level. Because the more you're committed, the more you understand how much it hurts to be committed, the more you're going to listen, the more you're going to understand, and the less you're going to fuck up. You need honest, people in your life to not massage your dreams, but to help you sculpt that rock into your masterpiece.
Yes.
And this is no fluff. This is the honest to God truth.
This is a
If you want to
demonstration of
learn how to
Wirecast.
shape your life and how to transform your life into something that other people have doubted you on, that you have doubted yourself on, or that you believe that, I don't know if I can do this. If you have an inkling or an idea of what it is you want to become, or you just want to change because you are a shitty person, come see us. Hit us up on our website. That is what we do. We make sure that you are fully
This is a
understood with
demonstration
who
of
you are.
Wirecast.
And you're not afraid of that. You're going to hug that. You're going to say, you know what? Me and you are going someplace. Yeah. And these guys on the back, we're that catapult. We're slowly pulling you back on that rubber band to launch you to where you need to go. Yeah. But you can't do this on your own. If you're tuning in, that's because something we're saying is hitting close to home. Yeah. And people can make perceptions of what they're not. You know, there's other shows that I've seen out there where these guys get dressed up in suits. They sell you the lifestyle. They're sitting in their $1 million home, you know, by the poolside. Right. You know, talking about bullshit. Yeah. We're not trying to be carbon copies of anybody else.
You know what? A lot of those guys that you see doing that made their money bullshitting people. Mm-hmm. That's how they got that shit. All this shit they tell you is bullshit. I know a lot of these people, and I know the people that invented the systems they're selling you. That's how they got rich. Right? It's fake. It's fake money. It's literally tangible, but they cannot. They don't know how to go out and make their own money. They only know how to replicate and bullshit and lie and sell somebody else's system. They can't do it themselves.
See, a coach, most of the time, these guys have not really been in your situation or have people connected in those situations. We have.
This is a demonstration.
We can't express that enough. If you're going to seek help, if you're going to seek guidance, if you want to transform your life, you have to go to people that understand the system, that understand the program, that aren't trying to pass along regurgitated BS from other people.
Okay? They don't even understand or even believe.
Look, it's still a business, yes, but the difference is the person running the business and how they treat the business. At the end of the day, your business is our business. Right. And our business is getting you to excel, whether you have a business or it's just for personal reasons. You want to fix your personal relationship with your significant other. You want to quit having anxiety, or you want to fix the problem of having anxiety. You want to stop being depressed. You want to stop your PTSD. You want to actually live a happier life.
Further your career.
You want to further your career. You want to be a better person for your children, for your family members, whatever the case may be. You want to have blessings in your life. That is what Win the War from Within does. We help you focus. We give you the guidance. We shape you, and we make sure that you are out that door, the new you. You're never going to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect coming in, and you're definitely not going to be 100% perfect leaving, but you're going to be a hell of a lot further in your life and better with your life, with the understanding of who you are through us. So if you're not afraid, and you need coaching, you need just an hour session. When our program comes up to it, if you need something longer than that, which we're hoping you guys jump into the hour, our program that's going to run over the course of a year, Win the War from Within. That is what we do. So to answer those questions about who we are, what our purpose is, our purpose every day is not to drive a business. Our purpose every day is to provide value and deep understanding so that way you can become valuable, whether at home, at work, wherever you are. And that is what we try to do with everybody.
I thought about. I was trying to think about how a simple way to kind of sum this up. And I came up with this earlier today or yesterday. This is what how I think about it. We want to lead you down the path of self-transformation. You know, it's not about all this stuff. And this show isn't about selling a goddamn thing. And this is just to clarify. We had a lot of questions about this. We just want to come out there. We want to give you 100% of everything we have, because you know what? Like you were saying earlier, we're not scared of anything.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give it all away, because guess what? We'll come up with more.
Mm-hmm.
We're not worried about scarcity. There's plenty of ideas. There's plenty of things. And the more we talk to each other and to all you folks and everybody around, we're going to come up with another idea, new things, new thoughts. So like kind of back to your point earlier, and people are like that, and they're scared. I can't share my ideas because someone's gonna take it. I say, I'll give you all my fucking ideas. Take them all, because I came up with them, not you. Not only, not necessarily, you're not gonna be able to maybe not come up with another idea, or you're not gonna be able to implement my idea. I can come up with more. I'm not worried about that kind of stuff. And you guys shouldn't be either. If you're worried about people stealing your ideas, let them fucking take it, because you came up with it. You can come up with more. You're going to come up with something better and grander. Let them copy you. That's all they're doing. They're just copying you. Don't worry about that shit. Don't come from a place of scarcity. Come from a place of abundance. There's plenty of ideas. There's plenty of customers. There's lots of people to help. If you're in it to help people and you're in it for the right reasons, that shit will come and that shit will be fine. Don't worry about that kind of stuff.
So as we wrap this up, we're going to give you guys some book recommendations. We try to do that at the end of every show.
Topic related as much as we can.
All these topics or these books are going to be on our website, Win the War from Within. That way you don't have to look through Amazon. It'll be there, which is connected straight through Amazon.
If you go to the socialchameleon.show, we'll have all the episodes are there, and each episode is there with the little information about the episode and all the book recommendations from in that episode. And I'm also going to put up another page that's just all book recommendations organized by each episode. So if you want to just go to the book recommendations, you can just go to that separate page. We'll be working on that.
What books do you have?
My recommendations on language, body language, and communication. One of my favorites, and this lady is great, Vanessa Van Edwards. She's got a site, I believe it's called The Science of People. Amazing site, great YouTube content. She gives a lot of stuff. But her book, Captivate, talks about body language, different facial expressions, and communicating stuff. Great book. Another book recommendation of mine is The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes. It's a little bit more on the communication side and the kind of the business side of things, but the thoughts and the way he thinks about things and the way he lays out his stuff, it's got for people that are in a sales job. Listen, everybody's selling all the time. But if your job is sales, or if you're an entrepreneur and you need to get out there and get your product out there, or self-employed, this book is especially important. But I think most people could gain a lot from this book. Another book, if you're kind of in that same realm, The Irresistible Offer. That is an amazing book. Also, Pitch Anything by
Oren Klaff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those three books, if you're in the business, if you're in a sales type arena, or you're an entrepreneur, those are must have books. And then one of my all-time favorite books on communication. Now in the book is geared towards negotiating, contract negotiation, but if you look past the contract negotiating type thing, you listen to what he's talking about and how he's trying to get people to a win-win situation. It's called The Secrets of Power Negotiating by Roger Dawson. It's an old school book, but I'm telling you, these old school people had that shit figured out a long time ago. But it's about win-win negotiating, finding out what the other person is after, and with that, it makes the negotiating so much easier. But if you, like I said, you pass the point of the negotiating part, and you get down to the fact of communicating, conveying your idea, getting across your message, listening to the other party, listening to what they're saying, and they're doing what they're after. There's a great story in this book, and I'm going to wrap this up. This company was
was trying to make a shopping mall. This old man owned this big piece of land, this perfect spot, and he wouldn't sell it to nobody. Everybody's like, hey, this guy ain't gonna sell. Guy ain't gonna sell.
This is a
So
demonstration.
this guy goes over and he's like,
Wirecast.
you know, talking to him a little bit. And he's like, what's going on? What do you want to do with this land? He's like, I'll sell it, but I have I have one condition. And you talk to him, you kind of found out that the reason he wouldn't sell the land to anybody is because he wanted that mall that was going to be built there or to be built there named after his family. He would only sell that land if it was a legacy for his grandchildren. And not one of these people cared to talk with this guy. It didn't matter how much money you offered him. He didn't want the money. It wasn't about the money. And so all these people missed this opportunity because they didn't want to take the time to speak. They didn't want to communicate. They didn't want to use the proper language. He wound up selling the land to this guy for way less than anybody ever thought he would sell it for, because they promised to name the mall after his family. That's all he really wanted. He didn't want the money. He had lots of money. He wanted the namesake. So, like I said, if you can get past the negotiation part and get kind of take that as a forethought, a little bit on the back burner, listen to and understand the communication and that win-win type mentality that he's going after. It's a phenomenal book.
And I'm going to leave you with a challenge. This is called a habit challenge. For the next week until our next episode, write down 4 bad habits that you have. And each day, make an attempt to not follow through with that bad habit or live that bad habit. And if you do, immediately write down when, where, and why it happened. That way you can identify the triggers as to what is creating or fueling that bad habit. Like I said, it takes a while. It takes 18 to 24 months to change a single belief, which starts from your habits. So if you can identify your habits and change at least one and continue to work on that. And the reason why I tell you to write down 4 is if you are progressing pretty fastly, you can start, as soon as you've killed one habit or changed one habit, you can try to tackle the next habit and the next habit to the point where you're going to see a lot of self-improvement. For me, my final thought comes from the Daily Stoic. I'm just going to take an excerpt out of it. And this is from February 15th. The title of it is Only Bad Dreams. But it says, many of the things that upset us, the Stoics believed, are a product of the imagination, not reality. Like dreams, they are vivid and realistic at the time, but preposterous once we come out of it. In a dream, we never stop to think and say, does this make any sense? No. We go along with it. The same goes with our flights of anger or fear or other extreme emotions. Think about that one. And Simon Sinek had a great quote from his book Together I think it's called Together We Belong, or Together We Can, or something like that. But anyways, the
Better Together or something like that.
The quote is, the value of our lives is not determined by what we do for ourselves. The value of our lives is determined by what we do for others. And this is perfect for this month. Perfect as a reinforcing thought. Yes. Value is basically what you can do more for others than you can do for yourself. So keep that in mind.
This is
Please try to do the challenge. And work every day towards.
The question for that passage for the day: do these strange emotions even make sense?
Yeah, you just have to ask yourself in that moment, is this real or not?
Yeah.
Because you feed it. You're the one that drives the message and the reality home. And most of the times our fears are just tripled or magnified because of the language that we're using to fuel it.
It's all in your imagination.
So take that into account. If you guys can, go out and get the Daily Stoic.
Yes.
And get the company journal.
Yeah.
It's separate. It doesn't come together as one. Maybe it does. I don't know.
I don't think
But
there's a set. But
get
yeah, that'd be a
both,
good
so
idea.
that way you are forced to ask yourself questions every day in the form of journaling and stay committed. If you can't stay committed
This
It's
to
just one
writing,
question.
to writing a morning and a night little passage, then you're not committed to changing your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
But with
Changing your
that,
thinking.
remember, winthewarfromwithin.com. Any situation, personal or business, any type of development, call us.
Let us know. Yeah.
Hit us up.
Let us
check
know in the
our-
comments.
Mhm.
DM us, whatever.
Go to our social media pages, add us individually. Justin Look, Tyson Gaylord. I have a blog, justinlook3.com. But just know that our website is there, winthewarfromwithin.com. And then you got anything else?
Yeah, and so, like always, at the end of each episode, we like to do a giveaway.
Mhm.
And today's giveaway, I've got just a ton of these books, and those of you over on Facebook and YouTube, you guys, there's a link displayed on the screen. But the link is thesocialchameleon.show/pickme. Go ahead and enter to win, and you can win these two books. Like I said, I bought a bunch of these books. I thought they were great. I just bought a ton of them out of my own money. Tony Robbins' book here, Unshakable, and John's book, Power of Broke. I want to keep giving these away. I think they're great books. Go ahead and enter in that, and then we'll pick the winner before our next show, and we'll let you know. We'll private message you. We'll private message the winner. And as always, throughout the week, you can follow us on all the socials: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. For the we have the replays. Everyone else go live here on YouTube, live on Facebook, here on Instagram. Like I said, the replays are going to be available at thesocialchameleon.show. And follow us on our journey all week long up until next week. And focus. I hope you folks have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Yeah, don't be afraid to reach out.
No, absolutely.
We're here.
We're here for you guys. You guys have a wonderful night, and thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time.
This
Really
is a
do.
demonstration
Have a great
of
night, guys.
Wirecast.